Maybe I'll just pick a random section. Right? This is a book called Begotten Not Made. It's a true story. There's a family event that happened in my grandparents' generation. My grandfather was in New Zealand in the First World War. He couldn't travel back to Ireland until 1920 when the war finished. And he went down to a pub in Auchlogeen and met a woman called Tessie Kelly, who was my grandmother. And I wonder, should I read that bit? No, what I'll do is I'll read a scene where my granddad is getting ready to go to Galway to get the gold ring for her engagement, because unlike my grandmother, who basically got pregnant, my grand aunt had a much more steadied approach to life, and she married a well-off farmer on the farm that I ended up growing up in. And if you want to know how that happened, you have to borrow or steal or buy a book. Or ask somebody who's read the book, right? So Winnie was ready early. By 9:30 in the morning, she was drinking tea with her father, where she had accepted Joe's proposal 2 days before. She was wearing her usual outfit for a trip to Galway, a navy 3-button suit with a cream-coloured blouse and sensible shoes, suitable for walking back to town. On the table in front of her was a cloche hat with a side bow and her gloves. Around her, the men were a babble of excitement. Winnie was not usually the centre of attention. Tommy was getting ready to open the public bar. Are you nervous, Winnie? No, not so bad. Joe will still be down the lane doing the herding. I don't know what your hurry was. He's probably worming sheep or something yet. Well, it'd be a shame not to be ready. Johnny was alternating between sitting and pacing to and fro at the window. I hope he washes himself, he said. Stop now, Johnny. Johnny winced and scanned the yard. So Johnny, my granduncle, he died young. He was what you'd call a simpleton back in the day. And I gave him a stammer because I didn't know anything about him. Are you looking forward to getting engaged, Winnie? Are you in? I am, of course, sure to be grand. Her hand cupped the bun at the back of her head, and then it went to her hair over her left ear. Mrs. Winnie Kilgariff, Johnny announced to the room, slurring the surname. Kilgariff, Johnny. Try and say the name properly. Try and say the F sound. Kilgariff. That's it, said Winnie. It's better if you can pronounce his name right. Johnny made a delighted clicky gesture with the fingers of his right hand and sat down noisily. But she knew it would be seconds before he'd be up again. Johnny, will you do me a favour? He nodded enthusiastically, his eyebrows raised. Will you keep a lookout at the window so that I can be ready when he comes in? I need to brush my skirt and hat. Right so. Johnny took up his position at the window, practicing the tricky F sound. He peered through the curtains like a sentry, muttering to himself. Gareth. He made his first report. No sign, lads. Winnie, there's no sign. I wonder, is he going to come at all? It's only 9:30, Johnny. He's hardly the cow's milked yet. Will you give the man a chance? Her father said. He wasn't codding, was he, Winnie? Was he only codding, Winnie? John and Winnie exchanged knowing glances. Drink your tea, Johnny. It'll be getting cold, his father said. No sign, came the sentry's reply. Tommy came back from the bar. If he said he's coming, he'll be here. If I know Joe Kilgariff, I bet you a half-crown, Johnny. 2 and 6, there's a ring inside in Galway, and it'll be on Winnie's hand tonight. Johnny turned to look at Winnie, and he turned back to the empty yard. No sign! So mind you don't frighten him off, Johnny, Tommy cautioned, in case I lose my money. Just then Tessie appeared. She was last up. She saw the hat and gloves. Oh, Winnie, Joe's come to bring you in for the ring. Good morning, Tessie, Winnie replied. I wish I was getting one. A gold ring, imagine. I can't come with you, I suppose. Well, no. John interrupted her. What are you talking about, Tessie? Of course you can't go with him. You'll be the bridesmaid of honour, Winnie, Tessie said. Gareth came from behind the curtains. Tessie grabbed Johnny from the window and she waltzed him round the kitchen or rather she pushed him backwards in front of her, while he stumbled and tripped. He backed straight into Tommy's chair. "Will you stop? You'll spill my tea," Tommy said. Their father surveyed the excitement and addressed Winnie. "I don't know what sort of a house we'll have at all with you gone out of it." "As she'll manage," she said. "They might get sense yet. Maybe. God is good. Talking of jewellery, that reminds me now. Sit there a minute, Winnie, till I get you something." He stood and disappeared up the stairs. He came back down in a moment and placed a small, decorated box on the table. "Here you are, Winnie. Something for you to wear today." "Oh, the jewellery!" Tessie reached in to grab the box. "You'll get your turn, Tessie." "Go ahead, Winnie." Lying on some threadbare maroon velvet was a pair of earrings, a necklace and a brooch. "You could wear them today if you like." "No sign yet from the window," said Johnny. John took the picture of his own wedding day down from the mantelpiece and brought it over to the table. When he sat down, Tessie came and leaned over his shoulder. Winnie picked up an earring, a small diamond stud. "I gave these to Ma'am when Maggie was born," he said. Tessie reached in and picked the other one up. "Put it back now, Tessie. You can wear them on your big day." The necklace was a thin gold chain. It almost disappeared against the cream blouse, so Winnie put it back in the box. But the brooch was an amber topaz mounted in silver, and it worked well against the navy, and sat on the wide lapel like a flower. He picked up the picture. "That brooch now came down from the Robinson side to your grandmother, and she gave it to Ma'am the day of our wedding, and she's wearing it here in the picture." Their heads came together to look at a skinny young John and their late mother in a Victorian setting. "She'd be delighted to see it on you. What do you think, Tessie?" Winnie modelled the brooch on her left lapel. "It's grand, Winnie. Joe will like it." "Fuck! Fuck, he's here!" Johnny backed away from the curtains like he was shot. The sound of wheels on sand came, and the pony's hooves echoed around the yard. The whole room stood up as one. "Let ye not all come out now," John said, gaping at him. "Winnie, you go out. I'll come out myself and say a few words to him." "He's dressed up in a new suit and a hat." Tessie craned over Johnny's shoulder. "Oh, you look the right gentry in your fine eyes. Could I not come with you, Winnie?" "Ah, not today, Tessie. When we buy the dress, maybe you could come with me that time." Winnie collected her hat and gloves. She kissed her sister and went to the door. She turned and looked at them, Johnny and Tessie by the window and Tommy in the middle of the room. She dipped 2 fingers in the holy water font by the door jamb. She blessed herself at the forehead and went out. In the yard, John was all welcome. "Come in, Joe, you're fine early. Come in for a cup of tea to warm you for the journey." "No, thank you, sir. I had tea beyond half an hour ago." "Are you sure now?" "Thanks all the same. I'm grand now." "Oh, hello, Winnie. You're ready? You are?" "Hello, Joe. All set, thanks." "Great, so." Joe remained sitting in the driver's seat holding the reins, and Winnie took her father's hand, and the trap rocked and sagged on the light springs as he helped her aboard. Joe lifted a blanket off the seat and handed it to her. He waited as she placed it around her knees and ankles, tucking it around her hips. And they sat looking down at John. "Good luck now, and God bless you," he said as he stepped back. "Thank you, sir. When you come home, be sure and come in for a cup of tea, won't you now? Tell him, Winnie, I can't send you over to your mother, Joe, without putting a cup of tea in your hand. Do you hear me now?" "Very good, sir. She'll be back again by 2 o'clock. "Sure, what's your hurry, Ma? Let you take your hour and enjoy it." "Well, I don't want to delay. I have herding to do at home." "Go on off with you in the name of God, and don't come back home till you have Galway seen." "Very good. Will we go so?" He looked at Winnie, who was smiling down at her father. She lifted her left palm off the rug in a wave to John. "Yes." John waved as Joe manoeuvred the pony back out the yard, and Tommy joined them as they rounded the corner of Craig Demins. "That'll be the quiet trip into Galway now," he said. "Well, he'll have to tell the pony to get along going up Schlieffin. How far do you think they'll go before either of them says a word? Loch George, do you think, or maybe Clare Galway?" "Galway, more like it. But they'll be getting used to each other anyway." Tommy nodded and headed back inside. "You can get used to anything," he said. "That's it? That's all you're getting?"
Wow.